I'm so proud to have Micah here today. I've watched his poetry grow, I think, for 3 or 4 years now, yeah, or more. Back when I was an undergrad, we were in groups together and writing poetry, and always like this weird hit and miss thing. But we finally got him to come here today and share his work. His writing is wonderful. It's beautiful, in turns elegiac and very, very sad, but also uplifting. His work brings people closer together, and I think that this book that he's just written, that was just published by Inlandia, is going to explode. It's going to be really not only just a big success in terms of being sold, but the success of being fully human. And I think that strongly is representative of him as a person. He's a wonderful human being. Please give him a round of applause. Please come on.
Now, in the book, I tell the story of my son Ezra's illness and passing. And I structure the book as places where I've spread his ashes, and I use in those poems a haiku form, which is a Japanese form of a prose section that is studded with a haiku or a tanka. And Basho used these in his travel writings. And then in between those are free verse poems. Big Sur. A part poured out at a bridge, the wrong bridge, off Pacific Coast Highway. Fine chalk banked like rivers in the seams of my palm. We came through here once, or near here, when you were 4 and I was 20. We ate apples on a cliff edge, watched a waterfall needle the ocean beneath an iron bridge. We threw rocks and boy-sized boulders down to hear them shatter between the waves. Jenny and I searched for that bridge all day, drove from the pasture bluffs in the south to the jagged spit of Point Lobos. Wildfires had rearranged the redwoods on both sides of the one and bruised the road-split hills with soot. Still, I was sure you would remember. You'd know if the turnoff came before or after that stand of yurts on the left, the lightning-struck tree on the right. In the end, I could only find some other bridge, some other creek clotting to the sea instead of falling into it. A sun-blurred likeness of something I thought was real once. Out here, blue skin whips gray bone, sea on rock. Each crack hardens a memory into place, but not the one I came begging to find. Thank you. Undated photograph, PQ. The PQ is the pediatric ICU. He is so thin here, balanced on a bed in the PQ, his hand stretched out in a pirate's hook, his chest candled through brittle ribs, penumbras, before dexamethasone. The windows flare, clouding the narrow arch of his shoulders. His cowlick twists off as it had since the first cut, tumbling over the eye patch like grass. You'd shave it down later. He stares past the wall of the camera, mouth ajar, about to crack a joke or whisper you one of his secret words. After that first long seizure, he lost 20 pounds in his sleep. While you circled the hospital at night, smoking and calling anyone you could think of. You read to him and prayed. You drew your knuckles across the last smooth skin between torn tape and electrode tabs. You learned how to read the barbed lines of breath and green heartbeat. You learned how to pronounce words like grand mal, glioblastoma multiforme, palliative, and inoperable without choking on them. He's awake at least in the picture, fished out of that starless water and weeks of coma, so it must be May. The steroids haven't begun yet to swell him up or wax his cheeks to soft moons, so it must be early in May. His good eye glimmers, sunken and serious. But still, the corners of his mouth are drawn into the root of a tiny smile, a forming vowel. The months-long headache must have broken. To see him now is not enough. You need to hear. If you could just hear his words again, the words that he almost speaks, that he spoke, the beat and chuckle of that last joke, the chime of his voice, you could remember if this clear, caught second came before or after you taught him how to say cancer and not cry out. Thank you.